The dynamic duo, the power couple, the terrible twosome. That's right, I'm talking about Ed and Rose from TLC's 90 Day Fiancé. These two have been tearing it up as of late with all their heated relationship drama. And if there's one thing that cranks up the tension between two lovers, it's dishonesty. Lying has a particularly devastating effect on a relationship by both eroding the trust on which a relationship is built and requiring more lies to cover up the earlier ones. So eventually no one can trust anyone, and the untruthful statements abound as lies pile upon lies. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Just wait until you see how Ed lied to Rose. And if you want more steamy content like you're getting ready to see, hit subscribe and ring the bell and we'll keep it coming. One lie that Ed committed early on in the relationship was about his height. He's quite short, standing a mere 4'11", so it isn't difficult to see why he might not want to be truthful about his hobbit-like build, especially if you consider the research out of Konkuk University in Seoul, South Korea, which looked at data from 7,850 women, finding that a taller husband equaled a happier wife. Ed surely wants a happy wife, so he just fibs and tells 5'2" Rose that they're the same height. Now that's maybe not quite lying because the couple are very close in stature, but it sure looks like he's trying to mask the truth, if only just a little. Rose finds out when she meets him at the airport and isn't terribly thrilled to find a much shorter Big Ed than she had originally bargained for. Should it really be that big of a deal? She apparently loved him when he was taller in her mind. Does a few inches of height really matter? Well, the research out of South Korea, as mentioned a second ago, showed that women definitely preferred a taller husband, but they weren't necessarily able to say why. So perhaps Rose has a strong desire for a taller man, even if she can't explain it. And now she feels betrayed that the guy she has invested herself in is not that. Also, one seemingly small fib is almost certainly evidence of ongoing dishonesty. And in this case, it sure is. So let's get to some more distortions of truth. Ed has a daughter who is actually a few years older than Rose. This creates a bit of a weird dynamic, and Ed's daughter doesn't seem to approve. Ed told Entertainment Tonight that he had made a fool of himself in dealing with this situation by not hearing his daughter's concerns in such a way that she felt listened to. For the first time in her life, his daughter stopped talking to him amid the relationship with Rose. He says they're better now, and overall Ed is very close with his 29-year-old daughter and thinks the world of her. Despite how highly he thinks of his daughter, Ed doesn't want any more kids. He has provided for his own daughter and wants to provide for Rose and her son. But he claims that's all he can handle, and he has been making plans for a vasectomy for a while now. Rose, on the other hand, already has one young son, and he is cute. She is still in her early 20s and is naturally looking forward to having more kids and raising a lovely family. Ed, perhaps fearing that his revelation might be a deal breaker, did not disclose this sterilizing intentions to Rose until they were knee-deep in the love affair. Even when Rose revealed her very specific desire of having 2 babies with Ed, he passed up his chance to come clean and froze up, shielding his love from the truth. To his credit, Ed does decide to tell Rose the truth before offering her a ring. But despite advice from his good friend, Rich, he probably waited way too long to reveal his intentions of getting snipped. Had he been straight with Rose and told her up front, she may have left him, but at least the couple wouldn't have had to deal with the aftermath of ongoing deception. This relationship is already on thin ice, but what follows is certain to be the last straw. Being 54 years old, Ed surely would have gone gray by now. According to Huffington Post, 50% of all people will have gone at least halfway gray by age 50. Ed is 54. Men specifically start graying earlier than women at around age 30. So that head of jet black hair? Fake. That's not such a big deal, but Ed claims that the dye he uses irritates his scalp. The solution? Mayonnaise. Come on, Ed. Say it ain't so. In an interview with E.T., Ed revealed that Rose did not know about the mayo, putting a slippery nail in the messy coffin that is his relationship. While we can't excuse Ed's dishonesty, we can maybe cut him a little slack. He says he hasn't dated anyone for 28 years, thinking that love had eluded him after his first marriage didn't work out. So he is way out of practice in dealing with romance, which might explain some of his super awkward interactions with Rose. But when love started to emerge in his life again, he was dumbstruck and appears to have held on so tightly to the possibility that he resorted to unscrupulous means of convincing this girl to love him. And, like dishonesty always does, it came back to bite him in the end. And to be completely fair, Rose wasn't always 100% upfront with Ed either. Like the time she didn't tell him that he was going to need to walk through big poop in his Nikes, or that his showers in the Philippines would consist of being hosed down next to her half-naked father while the chickens looked on and giggled. Hey, if you love this video, drop a comment below and let us know what you think about Ed and his lying habit. Go ahead and click subscribe to stay caught up on the latest TV and movie drama from behind the screen.